Hello everybody, Avion94 here, and in honor of TI4 being these next few days, I've decided to start up my first Dota 2 videos. Now, as you can see, this one is a replay, and I'm actually captaining the Radiant side over here. And first off, I'm gonna go through the draft and explain my picks and bans and why I did them, and then I'll actually go into the gameplay and show you what exactly is going on. And so the first thing I want to point out is that my first two bans were Lycan and Doom. And the reason that I banned out Lycan is because since we are not on the Dire side, Lycan does best on Dire because he can do early Roshans. Let me just make the cursor back to normal. And so fighting against the Lycan when they're on Dire is a very bad idea. And I also banned out a Doom because Doom makes any team fight a 4-on-5. Their bans were also well. They banned out Death Prophet, who's a pub stomp hero, and they also banned out the Ancient Apparition, who is a very good early game support. Now, my first pick was the Faceless Void. You'll see a lot of teams doing this at TI4, such as not Alliance, EG. They will always try and get Universe the Faceless Void, and so Void is really good because of his ultimate ability, the Chronosphere, which is extremely strong. It stops everything, and only Faceless Void can work inside of it. And then they grabbed their two supports, who are two heroes that are also combo very well with Faceless Void, and that would be the Shadow Shaman and the Witch Doctor. The Witch Doctor is good because of his ultimate ability, the Death Ward, and there's the Shadow Shaman, which also works well. And then Shadow Shaman has the Mass Serpent Ward, which you'll see later on in the game. And then I went ahead and picked up my next support, which is the Skywrath Mage, which he combos very well with Faceless Void. Basically, my plan is that I'm going to combo everything around this Faceless Void's ability, Chronosphere. And so Skywrath Mage goes well with that. Now next up I'm going to ban the Bat Rider. I'm banning Bat Rider because he's an extremely strong offlane hero, and he would work very well against the Faceless Void Skywrath Mage Tri-Lane, because between these two there's not a whole ton of killing power. But actually, as the draft went on, Faceless Void ended up putting into the off-lane position, and we ended up picking up another carry hero to fulfill that role. Now, they banned out a Brewmaster, and I'm not exactly sure why they would do that. We've already shown that we have a Faceless Void, and Panda and Void, while Panda's a strong hero and Faceless Void's a strong hero, together they don't go all that well, because Faceless Void stops melee heroes really well, and that's what Panda is a melee hero.
5 seconds remaining.
So then I ban out a Tinker. Tinker has an ability called March of the Machines, and March of the Machines would work very well against Faceless Void, because if he can just march outside of the Chronosphere into the Chronosphere, Faceless Void is not going to have a fun time. Then they banned out the Mirana, who's just all around an annoying hero.
Now for the Dire team to choose.
And then they picked up Viper. And Viper is a very annoying hero, especially in mid, so I instantly picked an Invoker. Invoker can be very versatile. He can do, he has quas, wax, and exhort, and he has a ton of different abilities that he can use in combination with these three. And so, in the end, Invoker works very well overall. He has a lot of abilities that work with Void. He can be disabled, he can be high DPM. He can just do a lot of things. So now I'm just going to auto speed over here through to their next pick, because so here they picked up a Tidehunter, which means that he's going to be in their off lane. So I know that we're going to have a solo Tidehunter fighting up against one of our heroes. And so at this point I really had to think about what exactly I wanted to pick up for our team, because there were a lot of options still left in the field. And so, if you'll notice, since we have some time, here, every time you have a ban or a pick, you have a certain amount of time, and then there's also reserve time of 1:50. And so if you'll notice, I'm going into my reserve time, and after I make my pick, whatever reserve time I have left, I can use again in a later stage. But I remember at this point there was a lot of talk about what exactly we wanted to do, because this is where we were trying to decide if we want to have Faceless Void in the off lane, or if we want to have Faceless Void as a carry. And so, in the end we did decide to put him into the off lane. But You can play him as a carry as well. I've seen a couple people try to do it in mid, but it's not as strong. And so we picked up an Earthshaker. The reason we picked up an Earthshaker is because somebody had really wanted to play him on our team, and so in order to help make sure that that happened, I picked up the Earthshaker now.
10 seconds. No, I'm sorry.
In the end, it
seconds.
turned out to be a really strong pick,
Well, never mind.
but I was definitely
Radiant
worried about this. So they banned out a Centaur, because as it looks right now, it looks like it's going to be a Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage, Earthshaker tri-lane in the safe lane. And then we'd have a different hero in the off lane. And Centaur Warrunner right now is a super strong hero in the off
10
lane.
seconds remaining.
And right now I'm trying to decide, based on their team, Tidehunter almost always
5
goes
seconds
off lane,
remaining.
Viper's going to be their mid most likely. And then these two are their support, so I'm trying to decide which carry
Reserve time.
I want to ban. And in the end, I do believe that I banned out the Faceless Void. Or, not the Faceless Void, excuse me. The, I think I would have banned out the Wraith King, because, Wraith King is a hero who works really well against Void, because even if Void focuses him inside of the Chronosphere, he ends up just respawning. Now, one of the fun things that we did in this draft is that we ran a carry Earthshaker solo against the Tidehunter, which, really has no way of working out. Oh, I banned out Gyrocopter.
Time now for the Dire team to choose.
Banning out Gyrocopter is also strong because Gyrocopter has a lot of things that he can do from outside the Chronosphere. He has a lot of team AoE. He has a high DPM on everyone, and so plus his ultimate is in an enclosed area about the same size as Chronosphere, so that would have really hurt our chances of Faceless Void doing well. And so
10 seconds remaining.
now we're just waiting for their next pick, and I remember that this took a really long time, so I'm just gonna jump ahead a couple times. Yeah, if you'll notice, they're burning through all of their reserve time, and then they ended up picking a sniper, which I was really surprised about, because snipers, although he has long range due to take aim, he is a very low HP hero, and so Faceless Void has the ability where if he jumps on him, Sniper's most likely dead within a couple of seconds. Also, Earthshaker, and Skywrath Mage, and Invoker work really well against him, so you just have a super strong team to fight off against a Sniper.
10 reserve
And then
time.
we were trying to decide what we want our last pick to be, because he really wanted to play carry Earthshaker, which as I was mentioning before is really weak because of where we would have to lane him is against the Tidehunter. And Tidehunter would most likely destroy an Earthshaker solo in a one-on-one matchup. And so we're thinking about how the lanes are going to be is Tidehunter, Earthshaker, Invoker versus Viper, and then a Witch Doctor, Shadow Shaman, Sniper versus Skywrath Mage, Faceless Void. And then we pick up a Rubik last because they have a lot of strong abilities that we can steal, whether it be Shadow Shaman, Witch Doctor, Viper, Tide, or even Sniper. They all have really strong ultimates that are really easy for Rubik to get, as long as Rubik's good. Then, so if you'll notice, I ended up playing the Invoker. Nobody else on my team really wanted him, and so I took him, and I am okay with that because I do enjoy Invoker.
It's time then. Prepare
So
yourself.
let me just switch over to my perspective here. So I'm a weird Invoker player where, why is the shop showing up for somebody else? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna be playing quas Exhort this game, because with that I can have the Forge Spirits and the Sunstrike ability and the Cold Snap ability, which are gonna be the three strongest abilities that I can have for this game. And then later on, when I start putting points into Wex, I'll have the Chaos Meteor ability. It is arguable I could have done Quas Wex, which would focus more on EMP Tornado, but that's much
Steady
more
now.
of like
30 seconds
a
until we are tested
disable
by combat.
build, and more of like draining their mana. And in this game we already have Faceless Void to be our initiator, compared to me, where Tornado would help with that. So in this game, let me switch over to free camera for a second. We're gonna have Faceless Void, Skywrath Mage, and Rubik in a tri-lane, Faceless Void is going to be played by Wargar.
Here they come.
Scarith Mage by
Let's
Bobo
go.
Diddy Mimi. And Rubik's being played by the Hash Slinging Slasher. Then in bottom solo lane, we're going to have Battle Racket, our Earthshaker player. And in mid lane, we're going to have me, Sexiest Man Alive, as the AVL94, as the Invoker. Now at this point, I had to go answer the door, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. A little too far. Okay, there we go. Over here we have Viper, their mid lane player, being played by Massive something. Tidehunter is going to be being played by Keister. The support Shadow Shaman is going to be playing King of Lionheart. Their support Witch Doctor is called being played by Say What, and their sniper is being played by Matt McHugh. Most of this game I'm going to be focusing on my own player perspective. Now one of the interesting things about Invoker is that he actually starts off with no abilities, but he has the orbs, which for some reason they aren't actually showing up, but you can see them here. Is that he gets 3 orbs, and then depending on the orb combination that he has, is which ability he can have. So he can have up to 2 abilities. So because I'm playing a quas exhort, this is Sunstrike. And the special thing about Sunstrike is that you can target anywhere on the map, and it's a nuke and a small AoE. Now, since I'm laning up against the Viper, Quas Exhort is an okay build. It's really nice to have Quas Wex just because Viper has a lot of poison damage, which is really annoying to lane against. If he was getting levels into Corrosive Skin, I probably would not have won this lane at all. Also, the other problem is that he's not actually using his poison attack to auto-click me that much. He should really be laning me out a lot more like he just did there, where he threw shots at me. So right now I'm just waiting for a Sunstrike. Basically what's going to happen is, since they have 3 people up here against 2 down 2, I'm going to be able to Sunstrike in there and make it almost like a 4 versus 2. Yeah, so right here he was getting extremely aggressive, and I had to back off, because if I didn't, then I probably would have died. Just something of note though is that I don't play like a regular Invoker. Most of the time you will not see Invoker players, especially when they're doing Quas Exhort. They won't go Tango no Talisman to start, and they definitely won't be going Phase Boots. Normally when we play Quas Exhort Invoker, you will go for Midas first. Now at this point I'm noticing that they're fighting up there, and so I was looking for a good Sunstrike, and Sniper was already dead, so I'm just going to use it on Witch Doctor. And I was looking, and sadly they were not able to kill the Witch Doctor. He leveled up his heal, and so he was able to use his heal to save himself. And so back over to me. I remember this part because Viper was getting slightly too aggressive and was trying to tower dive me, and so I got into a right-clicking fight with him, and I nearly died. So one of the issues with laning against Viper is that you always have really low health, and that's bad because his second ability, Nether Toxin, causes his attacks to do more damage when you have less health. And so basically I'm just waiting for a good time to hit him. And at this point he started tanking a tower and came back up. So I ran up and did a couple of Cold Snap attacks, because Cold Snap does stuns, and then Sunstrike on him in order to kill him. And then conveniently I was talking with my team about this point about how much I would love for there to be a regen rune. But sadly there was still the invisibility rune top. And so I was stuck here sad and low on health and low on mana. So even if my team does start fighting, like on this guy, they're considering trying to fight him. But I was telling them that there's no way I would be able to help out with that. And in the end they decided not to fight because he was the only person with any mana to cast abilities.
What need have I for this?
And so at this point I ran up there, got the invisibility rune that'll help reset the rune. And I'm just going to come back in the lane now. Now, one of the nice things that Viper did get from dying is that he got a free trip back to the base, and so he's now back up to full health and full mana, and that's gonna cause major problems for me, seeing as I don't have almost no mana. And so again, he's starting to go aggressive, and trying to zone me out of the lane. And so at this point, we had switched over to dual lanes as well. Rubik was helping out the Earthshaker in bottom because whenever Tidehunter Anchor smashes, he reduces damage by 60%, and it's on a 6-second cooldown. And so there's no way Earthshaker would be able to win that lane. And that was actually my fear at the beginning, is that Earthshaker would not be able to win that lane. So if you'll notice, Viper's actually destroying me in last hits. He's 26 and 14, and I'm 6 and 3. But I have a kill and he has a death. And that's the only reason why we're even somewhat close in farm. So again, this is where Invoker's strong. Is that I'll go back a few seconds, but if you'll notice, they went on Shadow Shaman, and then I used my Sunstrike in order to kill him. So I was able to secure that kill and get myself another boost in gold. So at this point I have my phase boots, which by 6 minutes is extremely mediocre. That's one of the things I want to point out about this game, is that even though I did a terrible job at last hitting and denying, if you'll notice, Viper's at this point 30 and 16, and I'm 6 and 3. Viper's destroying me in last hits, but I'm doing my job of helping secure other lanes. And at this point, I was extremely happy because there was a regeneration room, and so that's going to bring me back up to full. So now I had full mana, and I was telling them up top that if they want to try killing them, or even at bottom, if they want to try killing them, then I'm ready. So Viper was trying to chase me away now that he's level 6, but I wouldn't let that happen. And so at this point, Viper is going to try coming bottom to gank my team, and I'm still trying to get some more farm, and so I'm just going to be sitting mid right now. Which the other issue was that I had no way to get to bottom. So at this point, I'm looking at how low Viper is, and so I immediately shot a Sunstrike, and then he also decided to turn back around and go the other way. So maybe if I'd tried waiting, I probably would have landed that Sunstrike and gotten a kill on him, but I was impatient. And so that entire time, I've been farming and pushing this lane.
They've made a beeline for Radiant's bottom tower.
So I'm going to try putting some damage onto this tower. And now I'm going to start out going for Hand of Midas, which is going to increase my gold, and it's going to help me attack faster.
It seems Dire has chosen to strengthen their structures.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I've always wondered if I would actually have been able to kill him, but I definitely didn't take that chance because I didn't know where he was anymore. And so at this point they were saying we're going to kill Shadow Shaman, and originally they had the issue of if they missed that, he got put onto the wrong side, and so I ended up not Sunstriking because I was a bit preoccupied in mid. I was trying to kill this Witch Doctor. So I cold snap him straight into a Sunstrike, and then I dived him and got the kill. So I switch over to Quas Orbs and start healing myself. And then I find a haste rune. So I decide that I'm going to try killing bottom. But also at that same exact time, their team decided to back up, because the lane was too far pushed and they were afraid of dying again. I stayed down here for a little while, and probably slightly too long, because as it turns out there was going to be nobody showing up to this lane. And so I ended up turning around and running back to mid lane. One of the strong suits of Faceless Void is that after that gank failed, I told him to go on this sniper. And so as soon as he did that, he chronosphered, the sniper was stuck there, and I sunstriked there. And then we got an easy kill. And we can do that at level 1 it's every 120 seconds, but as the Faceless Void gets more farm and more levels, the cooldown's gonna go down. And so Shadow Shaman killed Rubik during that time, And I'm still in mid lane farming because I'm trying to get my Hand of Midas. But if you'll notice, even though I spent most of my time in mid lane and only once left and didn't do anything in bottom, I'm still 4-0-0.
It looks like they're going
Now
after
this is the
Dyer's
real
middle
strong suit
tower.
of Quas Exhort, is that you get 2 Forge Spirits, and because of this, Viper is going to be taking a lot of damage, and I actually killed him solo.
Mega kill!
But I should have gone back, but I ended up staying because I had enough points into Quas where I could just heal myself up quickly. So I healed myself up, back up to a safer spot, and then I re-queued up Sunstrike. So that way in case anybody needed help, like if this Faceless Void decided to jump on the Sniper, or if these two guys decide to jump on Witch Doctor, then I'd be able to help them. Then I get my Midas, and it's actually really late. I should have had it before 9 minutes, but like I said before, I was doing a terrible job of last hitting. So again, I get really lucky with a regen rune, and so that's why I queued up a new ability. Is, as long as I'm getting a free full mana, I'll have the 2 abilities I want. And so, this part of the game, it's kind of boring, this mid game, where we're still all farming, but I really haven't ever left mid lane, and that's why I'm so much farther ahead of this Viper, is that he's only level 8, but I'm level 10, and I'm just waiting for my Midas to get here, and then that's going to get even more ridiculous.
Missing.
So then once I get my Midas, it's going to speed up my levels and my gold, and so even though I have less hits than him, 32 to 44, I'm going to get a lot more farm than him in the long run. In fact, I'm going to bring up the last denies. So if you'll notice, even I was doing very badly at the beginning, but I've actually brought myself back up to 3rd place. Sorry, I should have done that earlier. So at this point, Shadow Shaman tried ward trapping him, he failed, and then he stole the wards and got the kill. So for some reason, Witch Doctor decided to turn back around and try to help his team, instead of running away like I thought he would, and so that's why I missed the Sunstrike there. But that entire time, like, they have 3 people up here, they had 2 down here, and I'm just sitting in mid pushing the tower. And so, at this point, if you'll notice, this tower is taking a ton of damage, and I end up taking this tower. So 12 minutes in, I've barely left the lane. I've got 5 kills, 3rd on the chart for last hits, and now's when I'm really going to start trying to move around more. So I pick up the Staff of Wizardry because I want to try going... Okay guys, sorry about the technical difficulties that I had there. But anyways, at this point I'm really going to start moving around more. I've taken the tier 1, which was my main objective here. And now I'm going to start moving around. So snipers killed our Skywrath mage, which was extremely disappointing. We had 3 people up here and they got caught out. And so it was actually really inconvenient because at that same time I was planning on heading up there with my 2 illusions. One of the things that I did this game, which is really actually bad of me, but I was able to kind of get away with it because we were so far ahead, that I haven't put any points into Wex, meaning that I have absolutely no escape ability. But I have a ton of damage because my exhort's extremely high. And so Viper's still leading the charts in last hits, and I'm already starting to push this tier 2 tower. Because as long as they're going to leave me alone, I have no reason not to. If you notice, like, just me and the 2 Forge Spirits have already almost taken this tower. So, we actually end up losing 2 heroes here, and I don't get the tower. But I've brought it from 1600 health down to 375 health. And I forced Witch Doctor to come to my lane. And then this was really unlucky where it stunned my Forge Spirits, and me just kept bouncing between the 3 and never went back to the creeps, because I probably could have killed Witch Doctor again had it not. At this point I realized that my Forge Spirits were dead. They have 320 move speed and Tidehunter is 365, so there'd be no chance of me getting there to save them. Now in this game, I'm going to be going for a Necronomicon, which basically means that I'm going to have 2 more minions. And then I thought that Shadow Shaman was going to keep running away, but in the end he turned around because Viper came. And so we ended up losing the Rubik. And I missed my Sunstrike, which was sad. One of the things that you'll notice me doing often when I play more games as Invoker is that I end up queuing up my abilities too fast. And so, for example, I was going to try getting Forge Spirits here, and accidentally queued up Ice Wall because I invoked too soon. So in this, now I get my Forge Spirits, I summon them. I'm going to use them to try pulling the creeps off the tower. But again, Witch Doctor throws out another stun. And at this point I really wish I had Sunstrike because it would have been a really easy kill. But because I accidentally got Ice Wall, I'm not going to be able to get that kill. Now I go for Sunstrike, but he also moved at that exact same moment. This is actually going to be almost my death. I barely survived that Witch Doctor ulti. They got the tower, and so that was a huge win for them. And then actually this is one of the reasons why me going for the max exhort was so strong, because my Forge Spirits do a ton of damage, and so that's 2 kills with just the Forge Spirits without me even being there. And then I Sunstrike Witch Doctor, and I get a triple kill all the way from over here. So these Forge Spirits do insane amounts of damage at this point, and enough where I've already got Necronomicon 1 and I'm about to have a Necronomicon 2. And so this game is really just spiraling out of control for them.
This won't be pretty. They've reached Dire's top tower.
And so I'm just gonna use the Forge Spirits now since they're almost out of time to push out the wave a little bit more and start getting trying to take this last tier 1. So I've actually taken over the last hits right now. One of the things you really have to do whenever you're playing a carry sort of hero is always making sure that whatever you're doing is worth your time. So like for example here, I've been farming the mid lane and I'm pushing out the wave. Now this is a bad play by me because I had my Forge Spirits keep attacking the tower because I wanted to get it close to denying range, but not actually in denying range. And I did slightly too much damage to the tower, so they were able to get the deny on it.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
At this point I've gotten my Necronomicon 2, and I'm getting closer to my Necro 3. And we're about to come down here and rotate with all 4 of us and take this last tower, their last tier 1 tower. But they're going to use the pushing power of Shadow Shaman and go for the reverse and take our middle tier 1.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And so they easily get that. We realize there's no way we can defend it, and we just go for this tower. And in the end, Witch Doctor had stayed too long, and so he just got destroyed. So at this point, I'm getting really close to my Necro 3, and
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
At this point, I take the courier, and I throw my Necro 2 on it, and I'm just waiting for a couple hundred more gold to get my Necro 3.
Radiant's middle tower is under siege.
So if you'll notice, in just those few seconds, we were able to get the tower to 600 less health. We were considering going in on this, and we probably should have. They didn't. They were missing their Witch Doctor and their snipers up top still. But our Faceless Void was getting dived by the Viper, and so we had to go back and defend him. And because we did that, Faceless Void was able to survive. So we didn't take the objective down here, but we kept our Void alive, and we killed off their mid again. This is one of the strongest points of the quas exhort Invoker, is the pushing power that the Forge Spirits give. So if you'll notice, if you look at this, they have their health and damage and armor is based on their level of exhort. And since I've been maxing that, they have a lot of damage and a lot of health and really strong armor. But you really only ever get 4 points into quas in this build, and then you'll start putting points into Wex in your exhort. And so I immediately just got my Necro 5, and we killed him. We pretty much at this point we can kill all of their heroes extremely easily. And so even though I only have 80 last hits, I'm 8-0 and 1, which allowed me to get a ton of farm for this. This is actually normally, again, it's kind of late for a Necro 3. A lot of the pro players will get it much faster. But that's where Necro 3 is strong, is that the melee minion has a death rattle, where he just he does a ton of damage when he dies. I'll try and point it out the next time I'm alive. But so we easily killed them. We got another tower, and at this point they've only got one outer tower left. And so at this point their team starts to blame each other for bad play, which I never appreciate it when people do that. But I'm not in charge of their team.
This won't be pretty.
So at this point I'm gonna use my Forge Spirits to start attacking the tower and doing some damage on it. But I resummon the Forge Spirits, and then I start farming up the creep wave again. And so at this point I've been able to get myself to top. And so again, if you'll notice, I'm always having Sunstrike queued up, and that's because it's a 475 damage nuke anywhere on the map. And if you'll notice, even though I'm not in the lane farming, I just immediately move into their jungle. But I've still got my Forge Spirit. I've kept it over here because I can re-summon them whenever, which I go ahead and do that now before they die. And then we actually end up going through their jungle and finding them. And so the team is fighting, and he gets a 2-man Chrono. So I'm going to immediately use my Chronosphere on him and take him out of the fight before he can do anything. And then at this point I summon my spirits, and I'm going to try killing off this Viper. But Sniper ends up eating the damage from the melee Necronomicon dying. And so I have 2,353 gold, which I should have spent it before I died, but I didn't, and that was a bad play by me. At this point I'm going to be going for an Aghanim Scepter. I personally really like this item, though a lot of people go for different items such as Refresher Orb. And that's because with Refresher Orb you can refresh all of your abilities. But I really like Aghanim Scepter because that allows me to utilize all of my abilities once and in fast succession to each other. And then later on I go for the Refresher Orb. And so at this point I'm gonna get my point booster and a Ogre Club. The reason I get an Ogre Club is to give myself some more health. I could have also gotten the Staff of Wizardry first to give myself more intelligence and more mana, but I haven't really been having many mana issues anymore, especially now that I've gotten the Necronomicon. And so I went with the Ogre Club. It's just for the more HP.
Radiant's top tower has been attacked.
So if you'll notice again, I'm immediately moving back into the jungle with my team, but they're actually ganking and killing our Earthshaker at this time. And so I came over there to try to do a bit of cleaning up, and so I utilize everything on the Shadow Shaman, but I'm not going to be able to get that kill. They stun up all of my minions, and they get away. But if you'll notice, just using my minions and a few right clicks from me, I almost killed one of them in a 1v4. They didn't even turn around to try to kill me, they just ran away. So now again, Sniper's going to eat the damage from that, which ends up being an issue, because had he not turned around to come back in and farm this, he would have died. At this point, Sniper's overtaken me in farm. He's gotten himself a Maelstrom and his treads, Ring of Aquila, drums, and a magic stick. But even though he has more last hits than me, he's 1, 2, and 3, so he's died a lot, twice, and those have slowed down his farm. He's also only got 1 kill compared to my 10. The other reason why have so much more farm than him is this Hand of Midas. Every 100 seconds I get 190 gold and 2.5 times experience from that. So if you look at the levels, I'm actually a level ahead of the Skywrath Mage, but surprisingly I'm behind the Viper. And Viper is very few items, but the one big thing that he has is the mechanism, which is really helping him. The other reason why Viper's doing so well is because he's actually been at most of his team's kills, whereas I only get experience if I actually for Sunstrike kills. I only get the experience if I get the Sunstrike kill. I won't get any experience if I'm just help kill him. And again, if you'll notice, that's a miscue. I only have 2 points into my Wex, so I wouldn't really want to queue this EMP up. But I have no reason to get rid of it. And so I do exchange it for the Meteor, which is also based on Wex, and so it's not as strong. So we were going to do Roshan, but we knew that they would probably come and try to fight this. And so as soon as they did, we immediately went in and fought them. And this was actually a really strong play from Rubik, is he was able to steal the Death Ward back from he was able to steal the Death Ward from dang, I can't think of his name. Witch Doctor. So again, a Sunstrike sniper. And that time we have Earthshaker pick off their Viper. So at this point we said there's no reason to go for Roshan anymore. We're just gonna push their base. So that's what we decided to do. Is we're gonna try taking this tower in the barracks.
It looks like they're going after Dire's middle tower.
And so all that they have up is a Tidehunter, and he decided to go in for some reason.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Ended up blowing Ravage for no reason. And he blinked, which saved his life, because otherwise the Sunstrike would have killed him.
Dire's middle tower. Unbelievable. They're attacking Dire's middle barracks. Get.
If you'll notice, one of my right clicks did about 200 damage to him. And so it's really easy for me to get kills on them at this point. I've got my Aghanim Scepter finished up at base. I just need the Courier to go back and bring it to me. Sadly, we were only able to take the tower. It's still too early in the game for us to be able to take a ton of objectives based off of solely getting a few pickoffs. And so we're going to end up turning back around and going for Roshan again. So I'm going to summon all of my minions. And Roshan actually falls generally quickly. And then I end up being the one that gets to take the Aegis because if I'm able to summon the more times I'm able to use my abilities, then the better for it. So again, I'm gonna put a Sunstrike on top of his Chronosphere and get some pickoffs with that. And so at this point, we just decide we're gonna take the last outer tower. We've got the Aegis. They have 3 people dead, and so we're gonna take this tower and then push up this one. I still don't have my Aghanims. I should have it by now. I should have gotten it a while ago. It's just been sitting in base. Actually, right now we're going through the backdoor protection because we don't have any creeps with us. We are trying to fight through the backdoor protection, but the second that we do get through backdoor protection, then that's just how strong our team is that we can fight through their backdoor protection.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And they can't engage on us.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So our top tower is getting attacked, but we don't care that much. It's still got tons of health, and so we're willing to trade some of its health in order to put some pressure onto their tower. But we realize that we don't want to fight this yet. We still have some time, and so we're just gonna back off for now. And then I'm gonna trade up my TP scrolls, drop them, sell my null talisman because I don't need it anymore, and then pick them back up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The reason why I have Wex orbs up right now is because Wex gives you more movement speed, and so I'll be able to get to places faster with my Wex queued up. But whenever I'm fighting, you'll notice I'll always have exhorts. That way I do more damage. Exhort or quas. If I need health, I'll have quas up. But at this point, I'm gonna have Forge Spirits and Meteor queued up. Meteor is really strong for team fights, where if you'll notice, its travel distance isn't that great because my Wex skill is really low, but it does a lot of damage. It does 32.5 damage for 3 seconds and 162.5 when it's touching you. And so at this point we realized we should push the Rex because they don't have a tier 3 tower here. So I'm going to summon my Forge Spirits, and I'm just going to have them start right-clicking onto the barracks. Click and summon them multiple times. And so even if they die, I can just bring them back. So at this point, Tidehunter initiated on us, and we immediately killed him because the rest of his team was there. So if you'll notice, something that was really strong for us is that when he fissured, I'll go back and point it out real quick, but as soon as I used the meteor, he fissured and stunned them, because they were stuck under the meteor. And he's got a double damage room, and so he's hitting with a lot of right click damage. And so we're just gonna kill off the creep wave, and then we go straight for the win here. There's really no reason for us to delay the game any longer. We're calling GG. We know we've won. They know that we've won.
I'm afraid
and so
has a middle barracks.
if you look at the hero level, we've got the top 2 heroes on the team. For XP, we have the top 2 XP earners. And then for the net worth, we have the 3 top people in net worth. And it's only going to get worse from here. The GPM again, the 3 top. But Viper was actually the only person on their team really able to keep up with us. And so at this point we're just taking another Rax in order to make sure that we win. But we really didn't need to. We could have just ended it. At this point it's mostly just stat padding. But at this point we just start to end the game. And so again they're gonna start telling us, you know, like that they have people hiding around, like shadow shamans in the top right trees. And so he tried jumping him, and then we tried jumping him again, but he'd already left. And then at this point we're just gonna end the game. So I went there, got my final items, and we're just gonna take out the racks. And so just want to say thanks for watching. This is the first Dota 2 video. All the Dota 2 videos are going to be about this length because this length or longer, depending on how long the game is. But they're always going to be one long video because breaking a game up like this would be not beneficial. So we're just kind of doing the jerky fountain diving, but the fountain's about to die in a second. So at this point, we got a kill, and now we're just going to turn around and kill off the tower. And then so we ended up winning. We did really well in the beginning of the game, and that just transitioned into us steamrolling them throughout the rest of the game. And so yeah, if you want to look, these are the final levels, the KDA, and everybody's items, the goal that they had, last hits, denies, and all of that information. And so go ahead and take a look at this, but thanks for watching, and I will talk to you all later. Ciao.